If you like high volume desserts for the lowest number of calories, you're going to love protein cheesecake. It's seriously so easy to make it taste like the real thing, creamy, rich, and decadent. And you won't get bored because you can make it in so many different ways. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Amanda, aka FitFoodAE, and today we're making 15 high protein, low calorie cheesecake recipes. So let's get started, shall we? So first up, we've got some cheesecake bowls. All of my cheesecake bowl recipes have around 400 calories and 40 grams of protein each. Now this one is my favorite. It's called a cannoli cheesecake bowl. Guys, it literally tastes like cannoli filling by the spoon. It is absolutely delicious. And I got a KitchenAid mixer for my birthday and I absolutely love it. It was so easy to mix the cannoli filling together. But yeah, basically you're gonna mix it all with like an electric mixer. KitchenAid, I'd highly recommend doing one of those and not just like mixing it with a spoon or whisk. It's not really gonna work, or blend. But then yeah, look at how good and thick it looks. And you put the chocolate chips in at the end. I got these containers from HomeSense. Everyone asked about them. They're really, really cute. It's a store in Canada. Unfortunately, they don't have an online store, but I can definitely link something similar. But yeah, what you're gonna do for all these cheesecake bowl recipes is you're gonna put in the fridge for at least 3 hours to thicken. Just tastes a lot better that way. And then look at this. Looks so good. The way that I make it taste like filling is I used Swerve powdered monk fruit instead of the regular monk fruit. It's kind of like a substitute for powdered sugar. Totally optional, but you could use broken up waffle cone pieces as the spoon. This basically gives it that like cannoli effect because that's kind of similar to what is used for cannolis, but you could also just eat it with a spoon. Oh my God, I literally ate this all in one sitting after filming it, even though I wasn't even hungry because I was just like absolutely obsessed. At first I was wondering like what I was gonna use for the actual cannoli pieces. And I was like, do I have to buy cannolis? But I realized the waffle cone pieces were just fine.
This is gonna be insane, I already know. Oh my God.
Guys, am I a little bit late to the Dubai chocolate train? I think I am. It kind of intimidated me at first because I was like, oh, where do I get this like nafe and pistachio cream? But it turns out it's actually pretty easy. So for the nafe, which is like classic, I actually just use crumbled up puff pastry and then pistachio cream. I bought it on Amazon. Now, obviously, pistachio cream is a little bit expensive. Just like buy a tub of it on its own. So you could do that, or you can actually just buy pistachios and blend them with a few other ingredients to make your own cream. And then obviously there's just like the milk chocolate, but would highly recommend just getting a tub of that pistachio cream. It's so good. I actually don't like pistachios at all. Like if you were to say, Amanda, eat like a handful of pistachios, I would literally throw up and be like, no. And that's why I haven't made any pistachio Ninja Creamy, but I do absolutely love Dubai chocolate. So the key to this is you're gonna put the toppings on after because we don't want the nafe or the puff pastry rather to be soggy. We want it to be nice and crunchy. So for the chocolate, if you wanted to melt more easily, you could put like a tiny like drop of coconut oil. And then for the pistachio cream, I actually mixed it with the crumbled puff pastry so that it looks like this. I just feel like it gave it the most like Dubai chocolate vibe. Now, obviously, because we're trying to make this macro friendly, we can't go too crazy with the toppings. That's why they don't cover the entire cheesecake bowl, but this is totally enough. You can kind of like mix them throughout. This was definitely second favorite after the cannoli dip. I thought this was gonna be my favorite, and the cannoli dip kind of like took the cake, but this looks so good. You could just eat it with a spoon. Chocolate lovers will absolutely love it. And guys, don't you worry. I'm gonna be using up that container of pistachio cream to make more Dubai chocolate recipes. We can't stop there.
Give me absolutely anything Dubai chocolate flavored and I will eat it. Insane. So good.
Another cheesecake bowl recipe. I made 3 of these this week because my other batch that I did, you guys love them so much, and I don't blame you. Like they're so addictive and they're so filling. This one is blueberry cheesecake bowl. So basically you're just making like a normal random like snickerdoodle base. And then you're just adding blueberries from a can, so like blueberry pie filling, as well as graham cracker crumbs. You can't go too crazy because it's funny, the blueberry pie filling is like really high in calories. I actually had to make this twice because the first time I made it, I realized like it was not macro friendly at all because I went way too hard on the toppings. But yeah, basically you're gonna use one of these like spoon things, or I don't even know what they're called, this orange thing that's shaped like that, to just get all the batter out and spread it out evenly and thinly. And then obviously once you do that, you're gonna put it in the fridge to thicken. You could, I guess, eat it without thickening it, but it's just not gonna be as like thick and creamy. It might be more, I don't know, like mushy. I guess you could also maybe add a little bit less liquid, but I would highly recommend just doing this, and then that way you can meal prep them. So what I did was I did little lines of the blueberry pie filling, because again, if you cover the whole thing, it's just gonna be like well over 500 calories, which if you're fine with that, then you're fine with that. But yeah. And then for the graham cracker crumbs, you honestly just need like a little bit of them. Yeah, so I just put like little lines here, and then I put the graham cracker crumbs on top. I was originally considering doing like a graham cracker layer on the bottom, but I was like, you know what? We want it layered on the top. We want all the good stuff on the top like that. But yeah, you're getting fruit in this, so it's healthy. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it's like fruit with syrup, but still, cheesecake bowls are one of these things that could easily be meal prep. If you're taking it to work or school, I feel like people are going to be in one of two boats. They're going to look at you and be like, oh my God, I'm so jealous. Like, where is that recipe? Or they're going to be like, that is wacky. But like, either way, it doesn't really matter, because if you're reaching your fitness goals and eating delicious food, who cares what other people think? But yeah, I feel like I am heavily on the cheesecake bowl boat. I can make a million different flavors of these, and I just don't want to stop. Honestly, they're so filling and delicious, high in protein, low in calories, and they're just like super customizable.
You guys have to try this. It's so good.
Do you ever just want an entire white chocolate raspberry cheesecake to yourself that doesn't contain protein powder? Well, your wish has been granted. As long as you have this mini springform pan, by the way, you can get this off of Amazon. It's linked in my store, which is below in the description. You're gonna bake the crust first, and then you're gonna mix the cheesecake ingredients together, except for the egg whites. So this is important. You have to beat the egg whites separately until stiff peaks form. This is essentially what it looks like here at the end. Got those stiff peaks. And then you're gonna fold that into the other batter, and make sure you have an electric mixer, guys. Otherwise, I don't know how you would just do it with just like a fork. But yeah, I decided to put raspberries in it, and then obviously you fold the egg whites in carefully. You could put really any other fruit that you want, but I think raspberries taste really, really good in cheesecake. I will say with this recipe is not one of those like quick recipes, because you have to bake it at 2 different temperatures for a while, and then you have to let it cool, and then you have to put it in the fridge for a few hours to let it set, and then it's ready to go. So it might take the whole day, or you might have to just enjoy it the next day. But yeah, it's so good. I drizzled some white chocolate on top. This particular cheesecake, it has the texture of like a Japanese cheesecake. Like, it's very light and fluffy, and it tastes amazing. You don't need protein powder to make delicious desserts that are sweet. Honestly, this whole thing has 480 calories, so you could eat the whole thing. I feel like some people might not even eat the whole thing in one sitting because it's that big. You can share it with someone, or you could eat half now, eat half the next day. So, so good. Okay, how do we feel about eating an entire key lime pie cheesecake in one sitting? Because I know that's what I want to do. So I have these little like aluminum pie things, which honestly you could probably use those for the cheesecake too. But yeah, basically just beat everything together here. I did use protein powder for this recipe. You could probably omit it. But yeah, you want lime juice and lime zest. And basically to zest a lime, you just use a cheese grater to basically grate the outside of a lime. Make sure to not grate your fingers. And yeah, same with the other recipe. You beat the egg whites here until the stiff peaks form. I feel like I got lazy and I could have done it longer, but it still works. I've made a cheesecake recipe before where I accidentally forget to beat the egg whites, and it just doesn't turn out as thick. Like, it's lower, which isn't as nice. But yeah, this looks so good. I love the lime flavor. It's like the perfect amount, and the crust turned out so, so good. You could also put some like light whipped cream on top of it. This reminds me of like being in Florida, going to like the Florida Keys and getting some key lime pie, except making it your own, healthy, high protein, low calorie version. Next up, we've got a New York style cheesecake. So this has 130 calories per slice. It's a larger cheesecake, so you can make it for like meal prep. You can make it for if you have like a family, a potluck, etc. If you bring it to a potluck, they're not even gonna know it's healthy. But yeah, I just call this regular New York style because I'm pretty sure that's what it is, just like regular old plain cheesecake. But I use Pea Science vanilla protein in this recipe, so it is a whey casein blend. I haven't tested this recipe with just whey protein, but I would imagine that it would still work. If you want to purchase some Pea Science, though, please use my discount code FIT15. And yeah, look at how smooth it looks. You gotta let it cool, and then you gotta put it in the fridge for 3 hours or overnight. And then look at here. To be honest, for this particular one, I didn't do the beating the eggs. This was the recipe where I didn't beat the eggs to form stiff peaks. This is my very first cheesecake recipe. You can see here that it still turned out like really, really well. I think that it probably would have been a bit like higher, would have rise more if I did that. But if you're in a hurry or if you skip that step by accident, don't worry, like it's still gonna turn out. But yeah, I love eating my cheesecake with like a little bit of light whipped cream, or maybe putting some sort of drizzle, like fruit drizzle on it. But yeah, this is so good. It's honestly great to meal prep. And if you bring it to work or school, people are gonna be like, oh, it's a bit odd, but like I kind of want some, that sort of thing. I feel like in some countries they also like sell protein cheesecake by the slice. I think I've seen it in Australia, but haven't seen it in Canada, so this'll do. Okay, next up, we've got some more cheesecake bowls. So this one is my Biscoff cheesecake bowl. I absolutely adore this recipe, and I use snickerdoodle protein here. Honestly, all the cheesecake bowls, they use 10 grams of protein powder, so if you did want to omit them, you could. I'd maybe recommend just increasing the sweetener, just because protein powder does add sweetness. But yeah, you're going to transfer it to the container here, and then just make sure it's all flat. And then I actually put the toppings on before putting in the fridge. Again, you could put it on after. Honestly, for cookies, they could get maybe like a bit soggy. But for this one, it ended up being fine. This little squeegee bottle of Biscoff, it'll like change your life. Seriously, it's great for recipes like that. But if you don't have a squeegee bottle, you could just use regular Biscoff and then just melt in the microwave for a bit. But yeah, this is so decadent and delicious. Make sure to not go too crazy with the Biscoff topping, otherwise you're gonna go way over your calories. But yeah, I would definitely enjoy this as like a mid-afternoon snack to get over the slump and keep me full until dinner. Next up, we've got an Oreo cookies and cream cheesecake. If you don't have any cookies and cream protein powder lying around, that's totally fine. I don't expect everyone to have like all different flavors. I feel like sometimes I get comments of people being like, oh my God, do you think I'm rich and have like every single Pea Science flavor? I'm like, no, you can usually, I would say sub vanilla or chocolate pretty much every single time. And that's why when people ask me like, what flavor should I get? I always say chocolate truffle and French vanilla or cake pop, because those are the most versatile. Anyway, we got cookies and cream. This is already looking delicious. And then I just put crushed Oreo on there. One crushed Oreo goes a long way, honestly. Again, I feel like you could put the crushed Oreo on after and then it'd be a bit more crunchy. But for this particular time, I just didn't do that, and that's fine. And it still turned out amazingly. But yeah, if you love Oreo, if you love cookies and cream, you're gonna love this recipe. You could also use like any kind of Oreo. You could use like a golden Oreo, maybe like double stuff if you're feeling crazy. But yeah, super versatile and delicious. Next up, we've got a chocolate brownie cheesecake bowl. Now, I say 10 grams of protein for every 100 calories. Like that is a great ratio, right? And that is a ratio I try to aim for in a lot of my recipes. However, I get comments from a lot of people being like, oh my God, this 400 calorie cheesecake bowl, like that is way too high. Like that's not low calorie. It's not going to fit my calories. Like I would say for the average person watching my channel, they can fit that into their macros. But if you can't, then feel free to just eat half of it. Honestly, I want my recipes to be customizable. Like if you only have room for like a 200 calorie snack instead of 400 calorie, feel free to just eat half a bowl and then eat the half the next day. You can easily store it in the fridge. Or right now I'm putting like a fiber one brownie on top of this cheesecake bowl as a topping. You could also omit the topping. It would still taste amazing without it. But yeah, look at this chocolate brownie cheesecake bowl. It looks so good. You could also crumble like half of an Alpha Prime brownie as well. I just didn't have any on hand, but yeah, that would increase the protein even more. Speaking of which, I'm definitely going to be enjoying a s'mores Alpha Prime brownie after I record this voiceover. I didn't know what to call this cheesecake bowl at first, but I decided on strawberry shortcake. It doesn't have actual strawberries in it, but we're using strawberry jello powder, and it gives it this like nice pink color, which I absolutely love. So then, yeah, you're going to blend it all together and notice how it turns pink. And then for the topping, we're actually going to use golden Oreo for this one. I'm not sure how I decided on golden Oreo fitting with strawberry shortcake, but I don't know, it just made sense to me. I think ChatGPT might have guided me through that. Sometimes I get inspiration of ChatGPT, but I find that it can be inaccurate sometimes. Like if I'm like, hey, like give me this recipe idea for 400 calories, 40 grams protein, the macros are like way off when I plug them into my Fitness Pal, but look at how delicious this looks. This one turned out so thick. It reminded me of like Dunkaroos frosting, or like getting Dunkaroos as a kid and just eating them by the spoonful. Little did I know that like as a 30-year-old, I would be making Dunkaroo-esque desserts and posting them on the internet. But here we are. Lastly, for the cheesecake bowls, this one is a key lime pie cheesecake bowl. Now you can see me repeating flavors here. I'll do like key lime pie, like cheesecake, or I'll do cookies and cream cheesecake, cookies and cream cookie, cookies and cream cupcakes, because like why not, right? But yeah, you need the lime juice and the lime zest for this one. Remember to just, you don't need to buy a zester, just use a cheese grater for that. And then you might want to taste the batter just to make sure it's like to your liking in terms of the liminess. Like some people want just like a little bit, and then some people want it to be more limey, but yeah, crushed graham crackers on top just to make it look more key lime pie-esque. And then I actually put a little bit more lime zest, honestly just for the picture, like for the thumbnail, because otherwise I'm like, I don't know if people can tell it's key lime pie. I kind of took it out after and I'm like, does it look like grass? I don't know, but clearly it doesn't taste like it, and it tastes like you are in Florida having your high protein, low calorie dessert. This is literally under 400 calories. It's so good. You're gonna be the talk of the town if you bring this in to work or school. Yeah, this one is definitely less heavy on the toppings. So if you're one of those people that just enjoys like more simple version of the protein cheesecake bowl, I got you with this one. Wow, we're getting closer to the end, guys. So this recipe are chocolate cheesecake bites. I think that's what I call it, like chocolate cheesecake brownie bites. But yeah, these are basically like little individual 90-calorie snacks, which are great for meal prepping, or if you just want something sweet at the end of the night and don't want a whole cheesecake bowl. So I crushed the strawberries and mixed them in. I found that doing that versus putting them in whole just worked better, and it allowed the cheesecake to like set like around them versus like the strawberry just like sinking to the bottom. But yeah, you put them into muffin tins. I didn't use like tin liners. I just put them into the tins. I found that was what worked best for me. Yeah, make sure to use a spoon. You can use the back of a wet spoon to just make sure that they're even. Also try to make sure you're putting the same amount of batter in all of the cups. And then you're gonna bake them. Make sure to not over bake, otherwise it's gonna be dry. Also make sure to cool them completely and store them in the fridge, just like the other cheesecakes. I know it can be annoying, but trust me, don't eat it like without storing in the fridge, because it tastes way better cold. Like yeah, definitely don't try to eat it like after it's cooled and it's like room temperature. It's just not gonna taste good. So yeah, put a bit of chocolate drizzle on here. These are only 90 calories each. They're so delicious. You just want like one little one at the end of the night. This is like what to do. They look like little brownie. They look like cheesecake bites that are like disguised as brownies. I don't know how to say it. But then yeah, they have some fruit in them too, which is amazing. You can cut into them like that. And you could also customize them. Like you could put different kinds of fruit. You could put raspberries, that sort of thing. But yeah, I really love this recipe. Love a good chocolate cheesecake. We've got another cheesecake bites recipe, except this one is raspberry, like vanilla raspberry cheesecake bites. So very similar. They're even a little bit lower in calories. They're about 80 calories each. Again, these are great to take to work or school, or just use as kind of like a midnight snack. So as you can see here, I don't think I bought like an electric mixer yet, and I was just mixing it with a spoon, which like honestly doesn't turn out as well, but again, it's doable. You just need to make sure to like microwave the cream cheese to make it softened. So I decided to put the raspberries kind of at the top and then cover it with a bit more batter. You could also just mix them in, but I recommend just like squeezing the raspberry a bit, like crushing them a bit rather than putting them in a bowl. Otherwise they might sink to the bottom. Again, here I use cupcake liners, so you could do whatever you want. It kind of gives them like a cool texture to use the liners, but again, totally up to you. The hardest part of these recipes is once they come out of the oven, you're like, yay, and then you realize like, no, it's gonna be a while before I can actually eat them. But the way I kept these lower calories by not giving them a crust, as you can see, like it's literally just cheesecake, but sometimes that's enough. Comment below, do you prefer the crust of a cheesecake or the cheesecake part of a cheesecake? I feel like the answer is obvious, but sometimes like people prefer the crust of a pizza and not the actual pizza. So you never really know. So here's our last cheesecake bite recipe. It's Biscoff cheesecake bites. Now, speaking of crust, these ones actually have a thicker crust, so they're going to be a bit higher in calories, about 160 each. So these are more if you want something like more decadent with a thicker crust. But yeah, trust me, it is so worth it. Otherwise, pretty similar recipe here. Again, I think I hadn't bought an electric mixer at this point, and I just softened the cream cheese and I just mixed it really, really quickly with a spoon. So it's totally possible, but there are going to be like a little bit of chunks possibly. But some of my earlier recipes, I'm like, I want to include them in these videos, but then I also kind of like say like, hey, like this is what I could have done better, like et cetera, without having to like refilm the whole recipe. So yeah, I must have been sweating in this video because my place didn't have AC and we had like big windows and it was really, really hot. My current place also doesn't have AC, but I'm able to make it a little bit cooler, I guess. But yeah, just putting a bit of Biscoff drizzle on top. These are so good, like so addicting, honestly. Yeah, so these are delicious. They are higher in calories than the other cheesecake bites, but if you want something bigger with a bigger crust that's like more decadent, these should be your go-to. You can definitely customize them and remove the Biscoff drizzle or put it in the middle as a filling, etc. They look so delicious. And finally, guys, our final recipe is this Oreo cheesecake. Look at how decadent that looks. Oh, the crust is like made up of Oreo crumbs. It is an absolute dream. I haven't made this recipe in a while, and I feel like I want to literally go and make it now after this. But yeah, I use cookies and cream protein powder and then just put some Oreos in there, and it was so good. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed these recipes, then I'm sure you're looking for more dessert recipes. So I'll link a video here that you should watch next. And please be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, as it really helps the channel and I post new videos every week. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.